The evidence is showing us that our universe exists and evolves as a unitive entity, that its foundational reality is essentially universal consciousness.
You're trying to get the footprint of consciousness. If you approach it objectively, you'll spend a lifetime doing useless things. No matter what kind of answer you find, it will not be in line with truth. If you obliterate the boundaries of your individual nature, the whole existence is right here.
I really profoundly disagree with you on that. Universe is essentially sentient. We're its microcosmic co-creators through our consciousness.
The only way you know the universe is the way it reflects within this. Then how come you're not working on this instrument? That sounds arrogant, but clarity always looks like arrogance.
Are you encouraged by this convergence of science and spirituality?
If you go at this pace of convergence, it'll take another 100 years of debate.
This convergence is really important to support human conscious evolution. Eastern traditions tend to focus more on the existential meaning as embodied, as experienced. In the West, move more and more into the thinking.
The Western civilization largely comes from the authority of God. All scriptures on the planet are from human memory. Some people claim it came from elsewhere, all these blasphemous things. Well, we may get killed for this. In the East, authority has never been the truth. Truth is the only authority. Namaskaram, good morning to everyone. Ma'am, please.
First of all, my whole heart is singing and smiling with gratitude and with love that we are here together. And when I was a little girl, I began to have experiences that were showing me that we are not separate from each other. And yet, with curiosity as my middle name, why as my middle name, I was asking why? The science that I was taught at school, that I was taught at Oxford University, was a science of separation, a science of materiality, a science that had no place to connect with my experiences. And as we explore today together, I hope we'll be able to explore how that science, as Dean was saying, is now not discarded, but in a way included and transcended, which has been the journey of science and the journey of knowledge, and I would say the journey of wisdom throughout the whole story of humanity. So for me, I would love to ask lots of questions. Because, Sadhguru, you've experienced the world as essentially being inseparable from it all your life, is that correct? But for me, the most important part of that is that by realizing we're inseparable, we also realize that we are unique expressions of that inseparability. And so for me, my work at the moment, and we can explore cosmology and we can explore consciousness, but for me now, is it what does it matter? What difference does it make? And that's the question that I would love to ask you. What difference do you feel it makes when we see the world through a lens of wholeness and inseparability, and I would say love, as opposed to what we've been seeing earlier about a world where people are depressed, people feel lonely, people treat the world as if it's somehow separate. We extract, we exploit. And, you know, that's your wonderful work with soil, showing we cannot be separate. We are not separate. Therefore, to revere and to love and to be in community is what life is truly about. That is my sense, but my question too is that how you see things, or am I not really deepening my understanding, rooting my understanding of that as well as I might.
See, this is a human problem, that we try to interpret everything in the universe according to our thoughts and particularly our emotions. There are people who've been propagating God is love. There are people who are claiming God loves them. See, God loves you, God loves the mistakes that He's made, is not of great importance. You make yourself in such a way nobody can help loving you. That's nice. I'm saying love is an important emotion in human structure. To keep one healthy, not in romance or something, just to keep one healthy, they must experience some sense of love. If there is no sense of love within oneself, not about somebody, you just loving, if that doesn't happen, you slipping into ill health is natural, you will go there because it's an unpleasant pit, emotions, if you don't fill yourself with the exuberance of love. Love is not about somebody, it's just that you have learnt how to keep your emotions pleasant. If it's very pleasant, you're loving. You look at man, woman, child, animals, tree, you look at it lovingly. If you close your eyes, you can sit here lovingly, isn't it? It doesn't demand another subject to be loved, that is a relationship. We're misunderstanding an inner experience and a transaction. A relationship is a transaction. Transactions need management. Hello, those of you who have love affairs? Lot of management. Love is not about management, it's something that you can overflow with. Somebody is here, not here, especially when they're not here. Lot of love, isn't it? When they're here, the transactions can rub this way, that way. There are issues with transactions. With every transaction there's an issue, it's a question of skill and management. It can go right, it can go wrong in a given moment. But love is something that's happening within you. Essentially, you have learned how to keep your emotions pleasant. In that pleasantness of emotion, many wonderful things will happen to you. Your body will function well, your mind will function well, your ability to do things, you have endless amount of enthusiasm. Those who are in love, you can't stop them, they're like, you know like mad as a marsh hare, you know they're on and on and on because they're in love. So I'm saying it is a fuel which keeps you going in a pleasant manner. What you get, what you don't get, what happens, what doesn't happen, doesn't matter, you are loving, everything is beautiful for you. While you're loving somebody, that somebody may not know, right now, at least. But you can still be loving and enjoying your love, that somebody doesn't even know that you're loving. Can I tell you a little joke, ma'am? Because this is university, they all tend to get frozen in seriousness. So this happened in a university. Shankaran Pillai was studying in a university, I'm not saying this one, somewhere. And one day he went to his professor and said, "Sir, I need your help regarding something, I need your advice and help." The professor said, "Well, I'm here for that, tell me what's the issue." He said, "I'm in love." He mentioned the name of a college beauty and he said, "I'm completely in love with her, but I'm only 50% successful, you need to help me." The professor said, "No, no, no, I'm not here to help you with those kind of things, I'm here for academic help." "But anyway, what do you mean by being 50% successful?" He said, "I'm completely in love with her, but she doesn't know. 50% is on, the other 50% doesn't know. So even if they don't know, if you're loving, it's nice for you. But when you try to make a relationship out of it, there you may succeed or fail, that's a different matter. So, people took up entities that they can love immensely. They love God. Very easy because He never walks here on the street. If you love God, always you can be… I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying, it's a wonderful device. You love somebody who is never going to mess with you. Hello? Isn't it a good thing? Guaranteed, I'm saying. But a whole lot of people today have shifted to dog. They got the spelling, I think, they heard it little wrong. But dog is also 12 years guaranteed love affair. Whichever way you are, it loves you. That's the best thing about a dog. What? Yes. No, she's got the dog in her hand, that's fine. Whichever way you are, it loves you. There is no man or woman like a dog. Hello? What do you say? There's nobody like that. Because no matter what kind you are, the dog loves you. So, but only problem is his lifespan is much shorter than yours. So every 12 years you have a heartbreak and you learn to handle it, all right? People learn to handle breaks in this last 50 years. A lot of people have learned how to handle it. They're not broken like before. They learn to handle it. So dog is a good thing, 12 years, whatever. But I'm saying, love is a human emotion and a very essential emotion, no question. But other aspects of life, are they in love? If we want to look at it that way, hydrogen and oxygen came together in a love affair and water was born. Well, it's okay in a Sunday school. Nothing wrong, this is just human interpretation. Out of love for life, the flowers bloomed. No, they're waiting for the bees. They have their business. For some transaction that they need for their life's well-being, they're all on. So we want to look at like that, it's good for you, it's good for your heart because it makes you feel good. Wherever you see love affair, love affair, love affair, fantastic. But I don't think we need to interpret the world like that because it's a human need. And who is a human being? A minuscule creature in this cosmos. A cosmos where neither the men of science know, nor people who claim to be men of God know where it begins, where it ends. Nobody knows where it begins, where it ends, it's that vast or seemingly unlimited. In this, who are we? We are a super microscopic creature. The fantastic thing is, we have been given an individual experience. We can sit here and have our own experience. In this hall, people can sit here and everybody can have their own experience according to their likes and dislikes. So this individual experience, if you take it too seriously, you will feel suffocated. When you feel suffocated, you desperately want to love everything. No, that's not how it should be. Love should be just your fragrance, not a desperate attempt, I want to love you, I want to love you, no. If you blossom, it's like fragrance of a flower. A flower doesn't come and hold you, it just spreads its fragrance and you love it because of that, that's fine. A human being should become like this, need not seek love in everything. Do you want to keep your body pleasant or unpleasant? Do you want to keep your mind pleasant or unpleasant? Do you want to keep your emotions pleasant or unpleasant? Do you want to keep your fundamental energies pleasant or unpleasant? If you ask anybody here, pleasant. 100% vote, all right? What they want for their neighbor may be debatable, you know. But for themselves, it's pleasantness. They want love, they want joy, they want health, they want well-being. There's no question about this. So, the aspiration for love is anyway there naturally. It is just that what is obstructing it. If you want to look at that, we can, but you had something to say, please.
I'd love to look at that, but before I get to that, I would, as a woman of science as opposed to a man of science, I do take issue with that perspective.
With science, we should not be men or women.
Well, you said men of science, so I'm saying women of science. But there is something in me as a cosmologist and a realization that the evidence basis we now have at all scales of existence, somebody showed the Planck scale a little bit earlier, from the fundamental Planck scale to the whole of our universe. The evidence is showing us that our universe exists and evolves as a unitive
100%.
entity. And we're also seeing that the appearance of its energy and matter and space-time are not its most foundational reality, that its foundational reality is essentially universal consciousness that then is all-pervasive and expresses itself as energy, matter and space-time of our universe. But within that, within the evidence we have, is evidence of its wholeness, that it exists and evolves as a unitive, as a wholeness. And, you know, in 2022, as many of us probably know, the Nobel Prize for Physics was given for universal non-locality. That's essentially saying two things, that everything that is within our universe, everything that is expressed within our universe…
It was so even before 2022.
Oh, sure. But in 2022, the Nobel Prize was given. It was known from the beginning, or perceived from the beginning of quantum physics, that quantum physics to work at all had to be within a universe of wholeness. But the point is that the Nobel is given for settled science, so nobody's still arguing that somehow our universe is made up of separate things. And the evidence is suggesting powerfully, as Dean was saying, that we now need to include and transcend a material perspective to one of unitive perspective and unitive consciousness. And everything, therefore, within our universe is interdependent, not just connected, but interdependent with everything else. For me, that is a definition of love. Not as sentimental, not as necessarily expressed through human experience, but a universe that is innately, meaningfully existing and purposefully evolving from simplicity to complexity through relationship. And it's not, you know, when we come to humans, it's interesting for me that 6 million years ago, our direct ancestors, when they came down from the trees, they came down not in relationships that had been continued by the great apes of male dominance over a sort of a group of female apes, but they came down as pairs. Ardipithecus ramada, which is our direct human hominin ancestor, the males and the females are the same size. They're the same size of teeth. And in apes, you get very strong teeth in the males, quite dominant. There's something about our journey to here, as part of the universal journey to here, that I would suggest that relationship is foundational. And whether we term it love or whatever way, and we certainly experience it in the ways you were suggesting.
When you utter the word love, like our learned professor was saying, lot of physiological changes will happen in many people. That's why I would say inclusive.
But I would say, if we expand our perspective, we, as a human species, expand our perspective to a living universe. So it's not just biological organisms that are sentient, but the whole universe is essentially sentient. Then in a living universe, perhaps we can also expand our notions of relationship and interdependence as being foundational to the way the universe exists and evolves. And we, as you say, we're very small, but we're also, I would suggest, we're its microcosmic co-creators through our consciousness, through our ability to be and live and love.
See, why love becomes important is because throughout human history we've seen conflict.
Yeah.
And when women had the same size teeth as men, I don't know what all happened.
It's a frightening thought,
I'm
isn't it? It's a frightening
I'm
thought.
just taking a risk, okay? So, so the reason why this is happening is individual forms, whether it's my physical form or we can make it, this is my community, this is my family, this is my race, this is my religion, this is my nation. So, we are going on forming more and more forms because we are a form ourselves. Once you create a form, it will inevitably clash with another form, one way or the other. The fundamental uh, physics of clashing is because we have a form. These forms are essentially happening. Now, this is a form because this is a certain body of memory. Well, we may not remember who our ancestors were, but their nose may be sitting on our face, their skin color is still on us, everything is on us.
Yeah.
Everything, micro-information is there. This is a body of memory. We call it evolutionary memory, elementary memory, genetic memory, karmic memory. Like this, we go on 8 forms of memory. We'll leave those things now. But this is a body of memory, that is a body of memory. If the memory is dissolved, this form cannot exist. This goes for every form, whether it's a rock or a glass of water or man, woman, child, whatever, everything has a certain memory. What we are talking about as consciousness, because it's in the title, I thought I'll come to that, is a dimension of intelligence where there is not an iota of memory. So, it is not like… See, the problem is right now, everything that we are doing is coming out of human intellect. If I ask all of you, would you want your intellect to be sharp or blunt? I'm going to bless you, please tell me. Sharp. So you want a sharp instrument. If you have a sharp instrument, what can you do with it? You can cut, you can slice. If you have a sharp knife in your hand, you can dissect something to know. Well, many of you who've been in science classes might have dissected that poor frog or I don't know, a cockroach, I don't know what you dissected. And you looked at the frog when it's alive, it's how you did. Its heart was beating, you're so excited, look at the way the heart is beating. The frog, what it thought about you, we don't know. This also happened. Shankaran Pillai went to a fortune teller, okay, a crystal ball. So, she looked deep into this and she said, you are going to meet an exceptionally beautiful young woman by next week. He said, is it so? Where is it going to happen? She said, now with a spell I'm going to make you into a frog. This is going to happen in a biology laboratory where she looked deep into you.
Before she cut you up.
She looked deep into you. Cutting you open is for looking deep.
Very deep, very deep.
So I'm saying if you have a knife, good for dissection. But you want to stitch your clothes, you can't stitch with a knife. Right now, a lot of people are stitching their clothes with a knife, I think, that's why it's in tatters. Hello? You're not… no.
No.
So I'm saying if you use your intellect to do everything in the world, it will go into tatters. So you cut it into pieces using your intellect and then you're trying to put it together. There is no such need. If you breathe, you know you're one with everything. What the tree exhales, you're inhaling. What you exhale, the tree inhaling. This is… it is on all the time. First thing is you separate yourself, you call tree a wood. Hello? You call tree a wood, then how will you know what is life? Life is an inclusive process. It's a phenomena which is all-inclusive. Well, you are a small manifestation for a tiny little creature that we are. We've been given too many things. Magnanimity of creation is such, we've been given too many things. Look at us, how many things we can do, how many things we can experience, how many things we can explore. But who are we in this universe? Just a speck. Tomorrow morning if all of us disappear, right now if all of us disappear, nothing will happen, everything will be fine in the universe. Such a tiny creature, how much privilege, but how much suffering human beings are creating? Because they have a sharp knife, but they don't have a steady hand. They're little la 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 la. So la 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 la, their own intestines come out. Right now, human beings are constantly hurting about something. Did it happen to any of you in Boston? I know it's happened recently for somebody else, but did somebody stab you? Hello? Nobody stabbed you, they're ignoring you. Huh? I'm saying from outside, nobody's poking you. But for inside, you're poking yourself. Why? Because you have a sharp instrument in your hand. If we gave you the brain of an earthworm, you would be peaceful. I don't know if you will be blissful, you will not be, but you will be peaceful. But right now, whole lot of people are going about teaching the whole world, peace of mind is the ultimate attainment. Even the so-called spiritual teachers are saying, peace of mind is the ultimate goal of life. Such people will only rest in peace. Because peacefulness is not a goal, it's a fundamental requirement to sit here right now sensibly. If you want to sit here sensibly, to be peaceful and joyful is most essential. But now this challenge has come because we are trying to do everything with a knife. With a sharp knife, if you try to eat, your tongue will be in slivers, all right? Everything will be broken and in pieces, and we are doing a whole lot of education with a sharp knife, cutting everything into pieces, and now she's trying to sew it together. I'm saying we neither need to cut it nor sew it. Anyway, it is happening as one grand phenomena. If you obliterate the boundaries of your individual nature, which is ruled by your memory, essentially if you step out of your memory trap, memory is a great possibility. You are knowledgeable, you have a PhD, you have many things. Why? Because of your memory. But memory is also a trap. Right now, these three people are my friends. Why? They're in my memory. Those people, I don't know. They're not in my memory. So, memory is also a trap, it's a prison. If you don't cross the limitations of your memory or the boundaries of your memory, well, you will always remain in that. Maybe you have a large memory and you think you have attained something. No. See, whether you live in a small prison or a large prison, it's just a question of convenience, but not liberation, isn't it? Hello? At least if they put you in a 8x8 cubicle, you know you're in a prison. If you put you in a large house and imprison you there, you think you're okay. That's a great problem. The great problem is you don't realize you're in a trap. If you know you're in a trap, there is an effort to come out of that. So, this is a simple thing. Instead of continuously trying to craft answers in our head, anything that you can think of is coming only from the limited data that you have gathered. Is it so? Whatever you think of, it's a limited data. With this limited data, you're trying to solve the universe or the cosmos. This is like there is a trillion-piece jigsaw. You got 7 of them. You look at it and say, oh, this is a bear. If you're an Indian, you call the same thing an elephant, I know. I'm saying with 7 pieces out of trillion, you're making a picture. Just relax, huh? Just relax and learn to enhance your perception. Within the trap of your emotional bubble, You're trying to find answers and answers. No matter what kind of answer you find, it will not be in line with truth. It may be in line with everybody else's assumptions, so you will be okay in a given society. They may honor you for that. But whenever people actually cross their limitations of memory, see, all books on the planet, all scriptures on the planet are from human memory. Am I okay? Some people claim it came from elsewhere, but read it and see, it's from human memory. If you cross that human memory, in the past, they would say it is blasphemous, for which the best thing that could happen to you was ridicule, the worst thing that could happen to you was crucifixion. Just for saying that the shape of the earth may be different from the way it is written in some book, people got killed. Hello? Shape of the earth. Because if you cross the memory, control is lost. If you cross the memory boundaries of memory of the present generation of humanity, control is lost. Either they will make a fool out of you or they'll crucify you. Today, woodwork and nails are not possible, but they'll crucify you in so many other ways. So should I tell you modern technologies, how all they'll crucify you? They'll do it every day. So, why is this? Because the comfort of being in the known. You don't want to step into unknown territory. Unknown territory is fearsome, doesn't matter what it is. If I drag you right now and I'm going to take you to heaven, will you come? No, because it's unknown, you don't want to go. Maybe I'm going to take you to the best place in the universe, but you don't want to go because it's unknown, isn't it? Because the comfort of memory, this whole evolution of who you are has happened in the comfort of your memory bubble. You may want to expand the memory bubble, fine, you'll do well in a university, but it will not get you anywhere with existence. You must understand the difference between social structure and existence, psychological structure and existence. Existential has nothing to do with your psychological structure. And your psychological structure in some way determines the social structure of the day. How people are thinking right now, that's the kind of society we have, isn't it? So, existential realities have nothing to do with psychological reality. Psychological reality is just a drama that you're doing. It's just that all of you want to do the same drama and say, this is the truth. If you do your own drama, which nobody else is doing, they will say you're crazy. Hello? Yes or no? You must do the same drama everybody is doing. Then you're a normal human being in this society. Leave the psychological part, that's why, because it's irrelevant. From generation to generation, within generation, in today's generation, there is X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever else. Hello, I don't know if all the 26 alphabets have been taken, except Z, 25, that you can't touch.
Speaking of that and moving beyond that, existential nature is consciousness, yes? And just to make that point, because…
No, I would like to… See, because the word consciousness, I've been listening in the universities here and there, conferences that I've been to, which I'm withdrawing from everything I've withdrawn in the last 4 years, because consciousness as a word is defined and redefined by so many people according to their convenience. Bala is an anesthetist. He thinks consciousness means he can obliterate consciousness by…
He's been doing it very well.
And he can again
but I guess
light it up.
I'm really trying to understand this, because this is my experience too. What you're describing has been my experience. But we were talking before we came on about where we are in the world today, and so much of what you are doing with the soil, with communities, are really waking people up to this understanding of who they are, beyond the memory in terms of that deeper nature of themselves. But I guess what I'm wanting to ask, and I'm wanting to ask it of all of us, you mentioned the point about when two folks, they clash. But in terms of the evolution of the universe has progressed through some degree of competition, but profoundly and in leaps through cooperation, through an ability to move from simplicity to complexity, whether it is hydrogen and oxygen coming together, whether it is planetary systems coming into being that could nurture biological progression, that then could go from single cells with a nucleus, to single cells to multiple cells, to 37 trillion cells of each of us.
I have a little more than you.
Everybody has more than I have. But
it's not like the old days, you had the same teeth as me, you know.
We're going to go back to that. But the point I'm making is, if we are able to serve the potential for evolution in our world, that surely requires us to find ways of coming together.
See,
so that is both the existential aspect of it, but it's also the being into the doing of that together. So I'd love your thoughts on that.
see, social evolution, or if it happens too rapidly, people will call it social engineering, is a different aspect. We all aspire a certain level of sense in a society that where we live, which is a bit scarce in everybody's experience. If it is so in everybody's experience, you are also a little bit of a senseless person. Hello? I'm thinking you're senseless, you're thinking I'm senseless. Somewhere there is a partnership in senselessness. Yes or no? We're all partners in the rubbish that happens on the planet today, because in some way we're participating, knowingly, unknowingly, all of us are participating in all the rubbish that happens. And of course the good things that happen also. We're not saying everything is negative, but if 90% everything is good, 10% something is bad, that's what sticks in your mind all the time, and you think so many things are going wrong. Well, so many things are not going wrong, but so many things still need fixing, there's no question. So social evolution, let's keep it aside because it's a non-stop work, it'll never be complete. It'll never ever be complete that someday we'll create a perfect society, because when you're just about thinking you have a perfect family, your children became teenagers. Perfect family went poof. Hello? Happened or no? Not because anything wrong with them, they're a next step.
Yeah.
You're living within your memory bubble, they're stepping out of your memory bubble and trying to create their own bubble of their own. So social transformation is an endless work, every generation has to work for it, seeing that pluses are overwhelmingly stronger than the minuses that we have. Will there be a world without negativity? No, it will always be there. It's just that we overwhelmed it with positivity so that some things we bear with it and go on.
Yeah.
Many people enjoy it also, so there's no problem, I'm saying.
But your work as well with soil, which I find deeply inspiring.
The soil is very simple. I made it very, very simple for people. See, the food that you eat comes from where? 95% of the food, or people are, scientists and statisticians are saying 95, but I'm telling you 100% of the food is coming from the soil. Can't come from anywhere else, it's the same material. So it becomes food and you eat it, and then of course it goes out as waste and once again becomes soil. But if you are not sitting, let's say you're all keeping it, then one day when we die, when we bury you, you become soil. That also they don't want it to happen, they're putting them in concrete boxes and putting, no, this must go back to soil because this is soil. This happened, this happened in 2060. You want to hear a futuristic joke?
I do want to hear a futuristic joke. Always.
It's not joke, but this really happened.
Okay. Either way, I want to hear it.
In 2060, a bunch of scientists, including Jude Currivan, asked for an appointment with God. Because a woman had to be there, you know.
Well, yeah.
Yes. So they all went there and told God, "Hey, old man, you've done really well with creation. But today, everything that you can do, we can also do. So it's time you retire. What are you still sitting and working?" God said, "Oh, is it so? You can do everything that I can do? Can you just show me what you can do?" So all of you together took little bit of soil and did this, that and made a shape of a human infant, and in 15 minutes the baby started crying. God said, "That's very impressive, but first get your own soil." So soil was quite simple to make people see, you have risen from it and you'll go down to it. I had to continuously tell them, you're going to die one day. Hello? I'll bless you with a long life, but you will die one day. This is not my curse. This is the nature of life. You will anyway die one day. Either you'll live gracefully and die, or you'll live badly and die. That's the only choice you have. Hello? Dying or not, you don't have a choice. You can negotiate some more time, but you can't negotiate life or death because this is the nature. Coming to the soil, I used it as a very powerful tool to bring a spiritual experience to people that the soil that you're walking upon is actually you. And we started a movement called Project Green Hands many years ago, where I made a few thousand people sit down and breathe in a certain way and made them experience what you're exhaling, the tree is inhaling. What the tree is exhaling, you are inhaling. Once they felt that, you can't stop them from planting trees. 123 plus million trees, living trees, they have planted in the last… I wanted them to do it in 8 years, they have done it in 22 years. Slow they are, but they're doing.
And what I love is that you make it very practical and very experiential. You know, you're breathing out. I talk about our universe beginning not as the first moment, or not as a big bang. We know it wasn't big, but that sense of bang. And I talk about the first moment of an ongoing big breath. And so essentially the whole universe is participating.
You read it in the Vedas, the Shiva exhales and the whole universe comes out.
Well, I didn't, but then I did find that out afterwards, which is so beautiful. But I guess the question that I have is that the soul is physical, is very visible to us. And yet until you are helping people to see that visibility, to realize we come from the soul, we return to the soul, we breathe out, the trees breathe in, all the rest of it. There are many areas of our world, our planetary home, the deep oceans, where there are fewer people who have been down to the deep oceans and have walked on the moon. That is invisible to that sort of experiential perception, and therefore that relationship. And so my sense of deepening the relationship is going back to what you were saying earlier. This sense of beyond memory is that sense of experiential, existential relationship with all that is, and therefore our planetary home as our primary mother, and therefore every aspect of our planetary home, whether we can see it or not see it, whether we perceive it as animate or not, is essentially part of a living cosmos. I mean, how would you…
I have not traveled the cosmos, I am a local traveler. People ask me, "Sadhguru, you travel so much." I said, all local, I've never left the planet.
But it's still around a planet.
Yes, I'll come to that.
It's still a planet.
What I'm saying, there's only one thing I know. I know this piece of life from its origin to its ultimate. By knowing this piece, what I see is, if you obliterate the boundaries of your individual nature, the whole existence is right here. It's not there to be searched, it is right here. Well, what is here and there is a very mental perception. If you cross your boundaries of memory, if you cross the limitations of your mind and body, then there is no here and there, everything is here. That sounds arrogant. Yes, it is. That sounds arrogant, but clarity always looks like arrogance, because people are going about, if everybody is talking about figuring out things by touching like this, how many things can they touch? But somebody who comes with vision and sees and says, this is what it is. As I said earlier, the best that they get is ridicule, the worst is crucifixion. And today we can sit here and talk all these blasphemous things. Well, we may get killed for this, because I have about 123 death threats, okay? And I still walk around without any security. I'm announcing to the world, I walk around without security, you can do what you want, it doesn't matter. But the thing is this, the moment you cross the boundaries of your perception, moment you cross the boundaries of your individual nature, you have not caused any harm to anybody. I have not abused anybody, but this is the nature of truth. People who have invested seriously in something and they find something else seems to be true, their whole investment is going, all right? So if you're going to take away their investments, you think they're going to lie down and look at you happily? No, that's not how it is. But at least today we can sit here and explore these possibilities. Well, how many people will actually experientially explore? Because what you do not experience, you do not know. What you know as information is not knowing. You can know about anything, but you don't know anything unless you experience it. Experientially, if you have to know, you have to perceive. Right now, the only instruments of perception that you have is these five senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching. Tell me, can you touch something which is not physical in nature? Can you see something that is not physical in nature? Can you hear something that is not physical in nature? Five senses are good for survival process on this planet, because the sharper they are, the better you survive. But if you want to know, they are not instruments of knowing. Till science comes to this point that they understand the instruments of perception that you're using right now to perceive the ultimate nature, which you call as consciousness. I don't want to go to that word because that word is defined and described by different people as they feel, whichever way they like. In every university, they got their own definition. So leaving that word, but these physical forms are coming up and going down. You're here today, tomorrow morning you vanish just like that. For all this to happen, there is obviously a fundamental. When you don't understand the fundamental, the simplistic way, which is not very wrong, simplistic way is, God is up there and He does all this. If you did not say up, I was okay.
Yeah.
God is there and He does all this. It's just another word, I have no objection to that word. You call it consciousness. Today somebody in California, they're saying universe. Universe tells me, not God anymore, okay? They're changing vocabulary. By improving your vocabulary, you're not going anywhere, except maybe getting better with English language. Nothing else is happening. So I'm saying fundamentally, the most important thing is this, that we need to up our instruments of perception. If you do not raise the instruments of perception, then with these instruments of perception you can draw any conclusion you want. It's bound to be wrong. We couldn't even figure out, walking upon this planet, we couldn't figure out whether this is flat or round for a long time, isn't it? Hello? So that's how deceptive our perception is. It's good for survival process, not good for knowing.
But in that sense then of knowing at a deeper level, are you encouraged by this convergence of science and spirituality, that we're moving, as Dean was talking about, as Bernard was talking about 2 years ago, as I talk about, that we're including and transcending into a perspective of a unity of understanding and a unity
I'm glad it's happening,
unity of
but I'm
awareness.
watching it with a certain amusement
I'm sure you are.
because you're trying to stitch the universe together.
I disagree. I really profoundly disagree with you on that.
Huh?
I really profoundly disagree with you on that.
No, I'm not saying you personally.
No, but I think no, I know you're not.
I mean to say,
I think
people
the
are…
process
See, you're
is…
breaking it into pieces and trying to put it together. I'm saying it's anyway happening as one great phenomena.
Sure.
Either you imbibe it, soak in it, which you're already doing, otherwise you wouldn't be alive.
Sure.
You're alive only because… See, it's like this, let's leave the universe alone, let's take the ocean. Ocean is a larger entity, but there is life, fish and stuff in it. They're all products of ocean and they may disappear tomorrow. Like we are here, we are a product of the soil, we may disappear tomorrow. So similarly, planets, galaxies, whatever else you call them, all of them have appeared, they will disappear when they run their course, all right? But for them to appear and disappear, something more fundamental is there. That fundamental you want to know. In a university, by dissection, don't do dissection, all you have to do is… Because the only instrument of perception that you have is yourself. Can you see what's here? No. The way it reflects in you, that's the only way you see it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only instrument of perception that you have is yourself. In seeing how to enhance this, we are going on enhancing the digital instruments endlessly. Well, that may give us technology, that may give us access, that may give us how to drop a missile through air conditioning vent. All these precision things we may do, but without enhancing this… When I say enhancing this, I'm not talking about muscular enhancement, I'm not talking about intellectual enhancement, I'm not talking about enhancing your knowledge. There is a way to enhance the life that you are. Not the body, not the mind, not the chemistry, this and that. The very life that you are can be enhanced. If you enhance that, perception becomes simple. Nobody is working on this one when this is the basis of everything that you know. The only way you know the universe is the way it reflects within this, yes or no? Then how come you're not working on this instrument? You got what, Hubble and what is the other one? I'm not against this, I'm very excited about those things.
James Webb. James Webb.
Yes, all these things you're looking at, it's fantastic. Why do you have a telescope? Because you have two eyes, isn't it? Because we have visual apparatus which can see thus far, we want to see that far, so you enhanced it. You are only enhancing your eye by…
Sure, on that basis I agree, but I don't see it as an either-or, I see it as a
It's not
both
either
and.
or at
It's
all.
both and.
No, it's
both
not
and.
either or. Please, if you… I'm sorry if I came out that way, because I use the word you. When I say
No,
you, I'm
no.
talking about the whole world.
I understand, I do understand that. But for me, the excitement of the convergence
No, I'm…
is that we are both and it's the existential
Convergence is good,
inner
but
being.
what I'm saying is, if you go at this pace of convergence, it'll take another 100 years of debate.
I'm not sure it will, because I think it's happening so fast now, as Dean was talking about, and as Bernard is with the Galileo Commission, with so much… I mean, I'm working with the Club of Rome at the moment in terms of…
All right, maybe it'll happen in 25 years in your perception.
I'm not a betting woman, and I doubt if you're a betting man, but I reckon it's going to be quicker than that.
I'm not betting on it.
Because I think…
I know how people argue against everything that is there in the world. So, knowing people, I'm saying it'll take a long time for this convergence. There's a simple way. It is 100% understood by everybody. Whether you are a yogi or a scientist, you understand this. Only if your vision is clear, you can see what is here clearly. Yes or no? So you understand this instrument needs to be enhanced.
Totally agree.
How you're enhancing it is now added a telescope and you saw all that. It's great. I have nothing against it. We got a telephone, we can speak thus far. But You need to enhance this life. That aspect has not been looked at all, at all. Because that is not even seen as a possibility. That is not even seen as a possibility. Right now, Bala and others are working to show how a person who in some way enhances himself has impact on the atmosphere around him. They're trying to measure that. I hope they measure that, but I'm skeptical about that because they'll measure impact. See, it's like you're measuring a No, no. No, no, it's not about him,
He's
please.
got his hands in his…
No, it's not about him. See, this is the nature of… this is the direction we have taken from day one. That is, we measure the footprint. But how do you measure the footprint of that one which has no physical form? You're trying to get the footprint of consciousness. How do you get that? You will never get that. Consciousness, if it is… you're talking about it as an ultimate possibility, then you cannot measure that. You can only experience it. The dance of life, even if somebody is dancing, you cannot understand the dance. You can either dance or become the dance. If you dance, you will have fun. If you become the dance, you will be realized. So right now, this is all this is. If you're conducting your life well, you have some pleasure of life, but you have concerns of life also along with that. It never comes free, yes or no? But if you become life, oh, am I not life? No. You're a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions and scientific knowledge maybe, which is also your thought process. Because if I remove your memory, you don't just forget your neighbors, even your science you'll forget, isn't it? Because this is all in our head. But beyond this, there is something else out of which we come and fall back in so many ways. In everywhere, if you observe life without objectivity, it's a dangerous terrain I'm entering. When you say objective, it is good for observing objects. Something that cannot be defined, which doesn't have a definition of shape, form or boundary, how do you look at it objectively? That is, you're trying to make a limitless possibility into an object. You will never succeed. You never will succeed. So I'm saying this convergence is fine, they're making peace with each other. They're not chasing a yogi out of the university anymore. Okay, that is convergence. This is a social phenomenon, I'm fine with it. But this is not really getting together, because if this has to become one, you have to enhance your instrument. You should not look at things from… for solving problems of medicine, this, that, you can look at a microscope. But you must turn inward. Turning inward, what do you turn inward? Do you roll your eyeballs inward? You can't do it. Turning inward is a different phenomenon. It's not objective in nature at all. If you approach it objectively, you'll spend a lifetime doing useless things.
Sadhguru, just to complete, because I guess…
I think they'll send me out of the university for this.
No, they won't. I still come back to the both and. I know that from what Bala shared, that his experience has empowered his work. And I don't know how many people here feel this, but my own life journey on that perspective, looking inwards and looking inwards and looking inwards, doesn't mean that I'm not curious about how that looking inwards then appears in the world. And so for me, the convergence of science and spirituality is a joyous thing where I have…
It's a fantastic thing, but it's a social thing, that's all I'm saying.
For me, it's a personal thing. For me, it's not a social thing, it's a personal thing. Yet, having said it's a personal thing for me, it's also how I think, I feel, I see a lot of people involved in this work, or in this realization, or in this service, see that it has the opportunity to empower transformational change in the world, because the old way of looking at the world, the old worldview we've had, since the mid-19th century has been one of separation and objects and consciousness pushed out the door and existential awareness pushed out the door. This convergence, it seems to me, at a time when we don't have probably much time, if we're going to undertake some
No, what
significant
I'm trying
change,
to separate
is really important, not just as a scientific revolution, but as a potential revolution to support human conscious evolution.
No.
That's what I'm trying to
There
come
are two aspects in this, Jude. I'm not trying to say something different. What I'm saying is, when you say it's personal, person is the basic unit of a society. So I'm saying what I like, what I think, what I appreciate is a social process.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I
If
take your point.
all these people do the same thing, then we are a society. If they don't agree with me, we are a different society, all right? So that is fine with me, that convergence is happening. As I said earlier, a yogi wouldn't be allowed into a university, but they're allowing me to come here and speak now. So which is a good beginning, but I'm saying this will bring a social change. You're talking about changing the world, you're essentially talking about the human society, right? Changing human society is a sociological process. I'm saying existentially, if you want to transcend your individual nature and know what you're referring to as consciousness, in that direction, nothing much is happening in any given university because they're all busy. They've done this with me also, many years ago, now I don't do that anymore. They want to measure what is your alpha in the head, what is your beta in the head, because it's all about how is it useful. Life is not useful. Life is just fantastic. Either you live it or you die. If you die also, it is not useful. If you live also, it's not useful. This is a simple thing human beings create. Oh, I am useful to you, you're useful to me. Life is not about use, it's a tremendous phenomena. How profoundly will you experience it? That's all there is. For profoundness of experience, you need to go beyond the limitations of your memory walls, which is your persona, which is your society, which is your religion, which is your, unfortunately, science today, which it should not be. Science should not be in that realm, but unfortunately, science is also coming from a limited amount of memory and push the boundary, push the boundary, push the boundary. Why don't you break the boundary, I'm asking?
Personally, I'd rather heal the boundary than break it. Personally, I'd rather heal the boundary than break it.
You're being diplomatic. We have done this to the whole planet. Today we have some 194 nations. What is it? It's like we cut the planet like a birthday cake. 195 guests we had, we cut it into that. But I want a piece of your cake, hello. Your piece of cake, I want a little bite out of that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right? But why have we first of all cut it and then trying to fix it? So this is because we are operating with one dimension of intelligence that we call as intellect, which is sharper the better. If you have a sharp instrument and you do everything with that, only thing you can do is cut it into more pieces, with best intentions maybe. With best intentions, I try to feed the cake to you with a sharp knife. Most probably I'll slit your tongue, isn't it? Good intentions only I have, but I'm stupid enough to use a sharp knife. Right now, that's all that's happening with humanity. They don't lack intention. They have intention, but they don't have means of execution. So I'm saying if you want a means of execution, turning inward is not about contemplation. What is there to contemplate? Same goddamn thoughts, how many times will you contemplate? Can you produce a thought for which you have no data? No. I'm very glad these AI machines are coming, I hope they come quickly, so that all of you feel redundant and no use. Because a machine is useful. A human being is not about use. It's not about how to use them. It's not about that. It's about how wonderfully this life can blossom, because when everything that you can do physically can be done by a machine, everything that you can do intellectually can be done by a machine, you will feel like a dud for some time, but then you will recover and I believe you will become conscious. That's what I'm working for and waiting for.
I wish us all well with that one.
She's waiting for you to fall in love with everything. Please do it, okay?
Thank you, Sadhguru and Jude. We want to take some Q&As.
My question is, if we want to change people's profoundness of experience and we want to help them turn inwards, shouldn't it begin with societal change first, because that's the level that most people are beginning at?
See, if a culture or a civilization goes towards it, that you make a whole society or a generation of people understand that in is the only way out for you. If we make them understand that, it'll create a conducive situation for sure. That's what the whole attempt is, to make people understand the source of all the problems in your life are within you. Solution obviously is within you. So problems and solutions are on the surface, but fundamentally, you're alive, means everything that is necessary for life is happening within you, isn't it? Hello? The exuberance of life is happening, your heart is beating. See, these are not simple things, your liver is functioning, kidneys are functioning, these are not small things. They're very complex nonsense, all right?
Yeah.
All this is happening and you are unhappy. All the galaxies are also working perfectly well today, and one nasty thought in your head and you're miserable, all right? So, first and foremost thing is to make the world understand that in is the only way out. If we understand this, then methods, because see, to get a degree in this university or get a PhD, you work for how many years? 25 years, 30 years? From the age of kindergarten to here, you worked, what, at least 25 years, 20 to 25 years of your life, which is more than a fourth of your normal life, all right? You spend to learn some subject. I was just talking to a dentist, and in dental science today, there is a regular dentist, there is an orthodontist, there is another one, there are 5 types of them. I said, why to fix this 32 teeth? You need 5 types of specialists. So he was explaining to me what all is involved. One guy is an engineer, another guy is like a sculptor, another guy is something else, something else. I'm saying just to fix 32 half-dead things, okay? They're only partly alive, partly dead. It takes 5 people to study 9 years of their life, is dental surgery they're studying. So I'm saying this is how complex life process is. In this, all the galaxies are working well today, or you think they're clashing? Hello? They're working well. All the organs in the body today working well, hope they keep working. Everything is going well. Unfortunately, there are a few unpleasant spots on the planet where people still kill each other, people are hungry, all those issues are there. But as you sit here, everything is going fine. If the planet spins little faster today, we'll all fly. Yes or no? Everything is going at the right speed, not clashing with Venus or Mars. just going in its track, not changing its lanes. Hello? Everything perfect. One little thought, how much nastiness it creates. Is this a great problem, I'm asking? It's a simple thing. So this has to brought into the society 100%. This is the effort we are doing with Miracle of Mind. What we are doing is to make a simple process of meditativeness in such a way, nobody need to go to a guru or an organization or somewhere to learn meditation. See, in 1866, they made a survey and they found in United States, over 50% of the people above 45 years of age did not have teeth. But today everybody has teeth. You think this is because of those 5 forms of dentists? No, because our mothers and fathers insisted, you must brush your teeth. If you don't brush, no breakfast today. This needs to happen at every home. If you don't meditate, no breakfast today. That needs to happen. Social change is very important, I'm not saying no. But I was made to believe we're going to talk about existential aspects, so I was trying to draw away from that.
We were hoping that it would again be both and, because the existential, you keep saying, and I love it, the only way out is in. And so the more we go in, the more we meditate, the more we realise that ground of being, then the more we can, what I call link up and lift up together in ways that can change.
Sometimes doing my sadhana every day, I experience states that I can't really describe, and I just want to know, how do I maintain this on a daily basis, on an every time, like every part of the day. Like I experience it and I don't know how to recreate that.
Well, hello, yep. Now, the thing is, you don't have to describe it. If your problem is you are not able to put it on the social media, what kind of experience you had today? I'm glad that you're not able to put it and you don't have to recreate it, because spiritual process is not about recreation. Never to put my next step ever again in the same place. It's in a new terrain every day. Every step, every breath is a new terrain. If you don't have the courage for that, then spiritual path, you slow down. Because every step must be in a new terrain. When you walk, only if the next step is in a new place, you're going somewhere. If my next step is in the same place, where am I going? Not going anywhere. Then you must do treadmill. No, it's good for your muscles, good cardio, good everything, but you don't go anywhere. So you must make up your mind. There are different types of practices in yoga. There are practices just to give you a little bit of health and well-being. Be where you are, to secure your position in the world that you've gotten somehow. Either because of birth, or because of education, or because of money or marriage or whatever, you've gotten into one place, you just want to be there. You don't want to be disturbed, but you want to be happy and healthy. For that, there is one kind of yoga. But you want to explore, you want to go away, it doesn't matter where it takes, but you want to know what is the truth of your existence. That is a different kind of process. I don't know what you're doing, so you must decide.
I study philosophy in the UK. I realized that the kind of Western way of seeing philosophy is really focusing on argument, is talking a lot about what kind of idea is true or false. While the Eastern wisdom system, which I summarize in this term, is probably looking at the practical effects on how to make individuals' life better. I wonder why is this so, whether my observation is really correct, and why is this so if it's correct, and how should we be in this kind of social environment? Thank you.
If people are debating about something, it's fine, but the problem is most that the debates are about to prove that I am right and you're wrong. A question, essentially, is an instrument to dig little deeper. A question is not a way of showing how smart I am. Question is about digging a little deeper. It's a needle. With a needle, you're going to dig the whole existence, it's going to take a long time. But at least you need to come to a point of frustration that it's not getting you anywhere. Then you will turn inward. The Yoga Sutras start like this. The first, it's a tremendous document, but one chapter, first chapter is half a sentence. And now yoga. That means you tried everything, nothing worked, and now yoga. Till then, yoga is entertainment, yoga is a little bit of fitness. That's not what it's about. Yoga means union. Union between what and what? Right now, your individuality is a thing that you have constructed unconsciously. We were talking about it as a memory bubble. This bubble is your individuality. Whatever you may think about it, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm loving, I'm hateful, think what you want or let other people think 1,000 things about you. Whatever it is, the fundamental nature of life is that this is a small bubble. In this bubble, the important thing is you at least open one door or window so that you breathe consciousness. Then your experience of life is very different. Within this bubble, if you argue, we can argue for a whole generation or you can argue for 1,000,000 years and you will not come to conclusion. If you really want to argue, you must come to India. Because one person has 5 different opinions. We've practiced this for a very long time. Endless debates about everything, you know. But after the debate is over, they're fine. Looks like they're in a war path, but the moment the debate is over, they're okay. Because this is a practiced debate for over 10,000 years, people have been debating every aspect of life. So, debate is okay, but exploration will not happen with debate. Debate will settle a few wrong conceptions that you may have about something. By listening to somebody, by taking inputs, you will settle a few things. But it will not take you to what we are referring to as consciousness or truth, because that is not going beyond that person, that is going beyond yourself.
But that's a wonderful question actually, and I'm just wondering whether…
She's from UK, you can
I
tell
know,
her.
that's why it's a wonderful question. In my sort of understanding of this, that the Eastern traditions tend to focus more on the existential meaning as embodied, as experienced. And whereas in the West, certainly with Descartes and beyond, move more and more into the thinking process. Objective thinking, I think therefore I am, and that parsing out. So my appreciation of Eastern traditions have always been that, completeness. And as you describe it, that going within to understand, not going here, but going within the wholeness of our ability to be aware.
See, when you say Eastern traditions,
Maybe not traditions, but…
No, these cultures and… it is a tradition now. These cultures and civilizations did not come out of authority. The Western civilization largely comes from the authority of God. You say this is it because it came from a certain authority. So authority is the truth. In the East, authority has never been the truth. Truth is the only authority. So everybody is always seeking. So-called divine entities have come and spoken, but we bow down to them with respect, but we have to seek our own truth. Because it's not a true for me. Krishna says something, it may be the ultimate truth, but it's not a truth for me because I have not experienced it. So this is the approach of the East, that truth is the only authority. It doesn't matter, God says it, Guru says it, somebody says it, we respect all that, but we have to experience it. Till then it's not true. So, this is the fundamental difference. Authority is the truth is the only authority. These are two different ways of approaching it.
We'll take one last question.
I just want some more clarity as a student, conducting research, and I'm really trying to contribute to your mission by showing people in is the only way out. I'm making my thesis documentary on the spiritual empowerment of Indian women, and I've just really struggled with, as you said, yogis are kind of only tolerated in academia, especially when we think of when I'm trying to show my fieldwork with rural women in India and their use of bhakti and devotion. It's considered as, okay, this is intention, they're trying to get empowered, but they don't see it as a true means because we only look at women's empowerment in terms of like external, visible or measurable outcomes. So people just keep telling me, well, this is a coping mechanism. So I just want to know, do you think this is even a worthwhile pursuit of my life? Like, how can I prove these, as you said, Dr. Currivan, how can I prove these embodied ways of knowing are just as valid and so practical to the modern problems we face today? Or should I even do this? Thank you.
You should do this. You should do this.
When we say bhakti, we are misunderstanding bhakti as going to temple, church, mosque, whatever. That may be one small expression. Bhakti means a love affair without any salvage. You can't salvage yourself from it. It's a one-way love affair, full on. Whatever is happening, your love affair is on. People have love affairs, but it's subject to the other person's reciprocal aspects. If they don't behave well, love will die. This is not like that. This is a full-on thing. Does it mean it's only with whatever you have assumed as God? No. Show me one person in this world, whether in academics, science, spirituality, sport, music, art, anywhere, someone who's excelled beyond certain limits without being totally devoted to what they're doing. Have you seen? Only those who are absolutely devoted to whatever, to just kicking a ball, they're devoted to it, they will rise, isn't it? So this is the power of devotion, because devotion is one of the simplest ways to get everything focused in one direction. Otherwise, your mind will go here, there, you say in is the only out, but it'll be out. It'll do all kinds of things. The moment you're in love with something, boom, it's right there, isn't it? You don't have to concentrate, it's simply there. So that is the power of devotion, that you can have your mind, thoughts, emotion, energy, everything focused intensely. Though people claim that they are intellectually very strong and all this stuff, believe me, hardly 6 to 7% of the world's population has really powerful intellectual capabilities. All others are largely driven by their emotion. It's just that their emotion is in anger, hatred, jealousy, this one, that one. She's telling you to make it into love. If you graduate further, you make it into devotion. If your emotion becomes super pleasant and focused in one direction, what it'll do to you is unimaginable. Do you understand? It will do things to you that you cannot believe. You will rise to another level of humanity. People will think you're godlike. So in India, we must understand there is no the God idea in the East. All the people whom we worship are people who walked the land, who walked our geography, but they rose. Because of their capabilities, they rose in such a way, we bow down to them. Today, there is a cricketer, probably most of you don't know cricket. You know cricket? You need to hit a ball, all right? Tricky game, dangerous game, tricky game because it's a hard ball. So this boy from the age of 8, all he did was hit the ball, hit the ball, hit the ball, hit the ball. Rose, 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 rose. The highest award in the country, which is not an annual award, which is once in a way, lifetime kind of thing, is called Bharat Ratna, that means the jewel of India, was given to him. Then people have started saying he's a cricketing god. All he did was hit the ball. He hit it in such a way that nobody could imagine a man can hit a ball like this. And over a period of 25–30 years, he hit the ball in such a way nobody could imagine this is a human being. And they said he's a cricketing god. So he's not in UK, okay? There's a little bit of national stuff I can do with…
I think so.
Okay. Thank
Bhakti
you.
has that power. You're totally, absolutely devoted to doing what you're doing, suddenly you will rise. It doesn't matter what it is. What is the activity? It doesn't matter. You're totally, immensely invested and devoted to that, you will rise in a way you can't believe. So whatever you're doing, don't go on thinking is the right thing or the wrong thing. Just do it, useless thing, just do it. Do it well.
Thank you so much, Sadhguru and Dr. Currivan, for this enlightening conversation.